In this video, I'm going to show you the 4 things that guarantee you've built a solid foundation to put the best swing on the ball that you can. And they're going to be how to hold it, the grip, how to aim and align yourself, what stance to take, and what your posture should look like. And this works for beginners, and it also works for the most experienced guys on this planet. The only point of contact you have with your golf club is through the grip. So it's very important that your grip is correct. And there's variations of the grip, which I'll tell you about, but you've got to get it on the handle in the right way and at the right pressure. So let's look at how you put it into the hands properly. If you were to put the glove on the ground and lead it towards you, just have it over the crease at the bottom of the fingers here, the fingers to the hand. You don't want it like this because you can't swing it properly. So you put it across the fingers, you close the fingers, and then close the hand over. And that'll give you a very good hinged way of swinging, which will give you the proper speed and everything you have later. But if you look at where the fingers go, you'll see if you have a grip with a center line, or you know, mine has the Golf Pride logo there, so whatever logo it is, that's your middle line. You'll see my thumb, as I'm a right-handed player, my left hand is on the club, thumb is to the right of that, and the little V shape here is basically lined up with the middle. The right hand, if you do that with your right hand and you get this crease up the middle here, that is going to cover the thumb like that. And then you fold the other fingers around and you'll see my right thumb is on the left side of that logo. So they're like a butterfly, they're like that. So we take the left hand on, then the right hand on. Now there's different ways of holding the club from that point. If you hold it, you could have what we call the 10 finger, the baseball grip. So that way all 10 fingers are on the club. You won't see many pros playing it that way. Then there's they call the Varden grip, the overlap. So you lift your right hand little finger off, slide up to the other one, and then overlap like that. And you'll see a lot of pros play with those 2 fingers interlocked. The idea is the hands stay close together and are not going to move apart, which is unlikely anyway with modern grips. The old days the grips were leather, could get shiny. These modern grips are almost tacky when you hold them. But they always keep the hands connected. The next thing, my grip, actually I go for the double overlap, kind of the Jim Furyk grip. Works for me. It depends on the size of your hands, your size of your grips, strength in your hands. You'll find one that's comfortable. Beginners nearly always go for the 10 finger because that's the most comfortable for them. You find children, the hands are not so strong. 10 fingers is the best way. You just don't want 10 fingers like this. Do not have the hands apart. They must touch. Touch or slightly overlap is all good. Next question, people say, how hard to hold the grip? What's the pressure? Well, you don't want white knuckle. If you're holding it really tight, you cannot move it. You've got to hold it tight enough not to let go, and not so loose that it moves around in the hand like this. So if you were to put it in your hand the correct way, get that hand on, then just hold it out like this. Take the thumb off, you feel the weight, the pressure in the fingers. Now that's the amount of pressure you want to feel in the grip with both hands. So I put that on and I can push that thumb down just a little bit so I feel the same pressure as the other one. I put my right hand on and I feel the same pressure through all the fingers. That will be the ideal pressure for you. You'll find as you get more experience, you might have it looser or tighter, and it does depend on the shot. But if you start, you want the basics right, get the grip right, and you've got a good chance of hitting a good shot without letting go of the club. Okay, the next thing we're going to look at is aim and alignment. I've set up this club here to hopefully aim at the orange football. When we're aiming a club, we've got to aim the face perpendicular to that line. So if you have this club down, it'd be 90 degrees across that line. Now, with a tiny little face, that's easily move slightly offline. If you have a spot on that line a bit closer, so within a foot or two, it's easy enough to aim the face at that point. One thing to remember, as you get more loft on here, it plays tricks on your eyes. So what you're looking at is the bottom one or two grooves as your line. Ignore the rest because it can make it look more open or more close, depending which way you're looking at it. Another kind of forgotten way to align is with a much bigger line, which is the whole club, and you're putting that down perpendicular. You'll find you'll be pretty well on the line then, because it's much easier to judge the big stick than the tiny little one at the end. Now you also have to align your feet. Now if I was to stand here and say, okay, that's over there, and I put my feet down here, what I'm gonna, so I think that's on line, I think that's right. The problem is, that makes my left foot closer to that line than the right foot is. So what we want to do is have a parallel line, parallel to the target line that we set our feet up on. And that would give us the correct alignment. When you stand behind and you look at that, I just move the camera across, you'll see that actually points left of target, but that is on target. If I was to align my feet at the target like that, okay, I'm aligned there. Now I think that's correct. I put that down. That club is pointing way right of the target. So you aim the face of the club first and align your feet parallel to the target line. It's getting rather windy here, but let's keep going. So let's think about stance. So we've got a grip, we've aimed it, we've aligned ourselves. What stance are we going to use? Let me show you this head on. The ideal stance, if you were to lean over, put your hands down, they touch the knees. That's about the right stance for you. If they're in between the knees, you've gone too wide and you might find it much harder to turn, especially when you get older and you're less flexible. If you're inside the knees, you'll find you get unbalanced and you're trying to swing hard and you've got too narrow a stance. So you take your stance at about, they say shoulder width, but if your arms are hanging, hang it to your knees. Just relaxed, hanging to the knees. That's the perfect stance. That leads into what posture. And posture is how you face the ball. So one thing we don't want to do, we don't want to stand up like this. You're not going to hit it very well like that. You don't want to stand all the way over like this either. What posture do we use? Well, you hear people talk about the goalkeeper posture, you know, when a goalkeeper's ready for a penalty in soccer, football. He's like this, solid but relaxed. So what we're looking for, we've taken our grip, aim, aligned, got the stance at the shoulder width, and if you point the club at your belt and you bend down, you've pretty much got it. What we're doing, we're bending not from the top here, we're not sort of doing this, and we're not sitting down like this, we just bend down like that. You'll find that's pretty much the right distance. If I look here, it's about, put my hand on my belt, thumb on the end of the club, look, that's about the distance you're looking for. If you were to have the club like this and drop it down, it should be on the lower part, just above the knee here. So stand there, bend down. You don't want to flatten this. You see people arching the back, sticking the butts out. They've heard you must stick your butt out. You do not want to arch it that way. That will give you all sorts of back problems. It's just a very relaxed, natural curve forward. Your arms are relaxed down in front of you. Left arm is straight, but not lock. Don't lock it, a stiffness. Straight but relaxed. Your knees, as you bend forward, you should have to counterbalance yourself. So we're looking at the knees are over my shoelaces there, not out here over the toes. My weight's not on the toes, my weight's not on the heels. Everything goes through the laces. So just slight knee bend, not a squat, slight bit knee bend over the laces, in front of you, bend forward, and you're in the perfect posture, looking straight at the ball. Like this, we're looking down here, can't do that. You don't want to be down here looking at this part. Very easy. One hand width, relax, down. That'll be your perfect distance. Nice, relaxed, straight, relaxed back. And your grip's on whatever grip you've decided to take. So if we recap this, grip, aim and alignment, stance and posture. If you get those four things right, you're setting yourself up for a good shot. Doesn't matter whether you're an absolute beginner or a very experienced long playing golfer, it's always worth checking those four things are correct and consistent. If you're consistently in the same place, you know that club's going to hit the same place every time. Once you can swing the club in the same way every time, you're going to play good golf.